perfect. Yeah, you walk that walk, watch the eyes go pop. You're so picture perfect.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Bravo Tea with the Stay-at-Home Mom. I'm Erica, and I can't wait to get into part one of the Valley reunion. It already started off hot. I can't believe we have 3 parts, but I can believe it because last year they did us a disservice and we don't even get a reunion. I don't know what's with this trend and not really giving first season shows a reunion. Like we didn't get one for Next Gen NYC. And I feel like there was a decent amount of stuff they could have hashed out and talked about at a reunion. And the Valley, I mean, come on, people. We knew we were going to get another season of this. This is like OG people on Bravo. There was a lot of drama happening. There was a lot of divorces, a lot of fights. We could have had a reunion, but that's why we have 3-part reunion this time. So Kristen and Nia are pregnant. So happy. They're like literally a week apart, which is so funny. Luke said he's nervous because they don't have a bag packed. And Kristen's like, nobody make me upset or my water's going to break. And then I feel like Andy is just kind of like shaming everyone as they go around. Like sometimes he's nice at the beginning of these things. Like he'll be like, oh, hey, like you look so great. How have you been? But I feel like instead he's like kind of being a little shady to everyone. And he's like, oh, Janet, you look good. What did you do? And she's like, Pilates and Adderall. And it's like, thank you for being honest. But Brittany said their divorce should be finalized soon. But Jax called her the other day and said he didn't know if he's going to be fired or not. And that means he wants to wait to see if he's going to be fired, probably to finalize the divorce, because he wants to ask for alimony. Now, this is what I mean. Right off the bat, we are starting with drama. She has no filter, and I love it. And I'm glad that finally the mask is off. I feel like she has been lying for this man for so long, mainly about the coke addiction, but also how he's treated her, which we'll get into towards the end is when they talk about that. But it's just like, thank you, Brittany, for just being real. And thank you for embarrassing this man that deserves to be embarrassed. I mean, what a little jerk. We've now come to find out that the bar, I mean, it wasn't his bar, but the bar that threw his name on the sign has decided to part ways with him, even though he's doing a double whammy. He's saying he stepped away from the show. So after the reunion was filmed, he claims he stepped away for his mental health. And then he's also claiming he stepped away from the bar for his mental health. No, you got fired from both. I mean, this is kind of like a Scandival thing. Like, remember Tom and Tom's partner in Schwartz and Sandy's, Greg, that was already getting mad and hesitant about them because they weren't like opening, and Tom wanted to spend like $1 million on like ice sculptures and stuff like this. This is what happens when you get partners and then something goes bad. Once Scandival happened, Greg's like, you people need to get out of here. And that's what's happening with these people. Like Jax's Studio City doesn't even look that wonderful. And now you're an awful human being. No one probably wants to come in and support it. And the people are probably like, all right, this really isn't going the way we thought it would. Maybe we need to put like Brittany's name up there. What I'm more curious about is what he's going to do with all that merch that says Jax's Studio City. Do you think it's going to go on his eBay page like when he sold Brittany's Weight Watcher bags, which was just so funny? I mean, Andy shamed him at the beginning and he said, this is the first time we've seen you all season not decked out in Jax's Studio City gear. And he's like, oh, gotta advertise. It's like, yeah, not all the time though. Like, we get it. And now, joke's on you. You're not going to have a wardrobe to wear. But you know what he could wear? These elevator lift shoes that he's wearing. So it was like a joke that he wears these like lift shoes. So they have like an insole inside that gives you a little lift, makes you taller. He doesn't look short. I mean, maybe we need to get Danny wearing these lift shoes. I don't really think we need to get Jax wearing them. And instead of worrying about being like 2 inches taller, let's worry about being a better human being. But it is come to all of our knowledge now, the internet is blowing up. He had these lift shoes on at the reunion that were purchased on Amazon. And that was actually Andy's jackhole of the day. Thursday night on Watch What Happens Live. He's like, Jack's in these like lift shoes. And he's like, but am I the real jackhole? Because I kind of want a pair. But it's like, it's not obvious that you're wearing them, but I think it's so funny. Jax takes the time to purposely buy shoes that are making him 2.5 inches taller. It's like, you're already decently tall. Who cares? Literally, who cares? Kristen said she got pregnant 2 weeks after filming. So maybe all the stress was also causing her to not get pregnant. One tends to wonder. Her and Janet, I have a little glimmer of hope because at the very beginning, she's like, I think Kristen is going to be a great mom, and I'm really happy she's pregnant. Step in the right direction. So maybe that is good. Andy teased Danny, of course, about is a vasectomy in your future? And he said, yes, if anyone wants to come get them together. Brittany went in on Jax again, said he should get one because he'll have like 21 baby mamas. And then he's like, yeah, I should. He's like, I don't wear condoms. And she's like, yeah, because you're disgusting. She's like, I wouldn't touch that dick with a 10-foot pole. Dirty dick. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this woman. See, I think this is almost like a Scandival Vanderpump reunion. Like, you know how everyone was just so mad and angry at Tom and Raquel? This is that for Brittany. She is so mad and angry at Jax, and she just needs to like get it out. And now that he's not coming back next season either, it's like smooth sailing for her. She could use the app, like I said on my podcast previous to this, that Lala and Randall use. She can block his phone number, communicate through the app, because I guess the app is like monitored either by your attorney or something or someone, but also that costs money. But it prevents people from having these like psycho rage texts and being kind of like abused like Brittany is through her text messages. I mean, he texts her about stuff he probably doesn't need to. It just needs to be about Cruz. So the app would be very helpful for them. But hopefully Jax will go get a vasectomy, and hopefully Danny will too. Even though they did move in to their larger house in Santa Clarita, which Andy talks about that. But it's like, can we be done with having children? I mean, maybe Nia will get the mommy makeover, and then obviously the kitchen will be closed, because once you get the plastic surgery, you can't go back and have kids, because then you're just messing the plastic surgery up. But yes, please take Jax along the ride for the vasectomy party. Andy asks what made Michelle leave Jesse. And she said nothing really specific, just everything kind of adding up, always putting her down. So that's interesting. Like, I think Jesse is a bit full of himself, but I can't really see him being like Jax, body shaming and putting her down. So I don't really know putting her down. It doesn't have to be her looks, maybe their work or stuff like that together. I don't know. But I'm just really surprised that he would put Michelle down. They bring up him not letting their daughter see the dying mother. I really think there's more to the story. And he's saying there is too. And I'm not really understanding it all, because I don't think Jesse would be like, no, Isabella can't go see her dying grandmother. I think Michelle's not giving him full information. So then maybe therefore he's like, it's my time with my daughter. You're not getting more time. I don't know. It seems very, very like no communication, I feel like, between Michelle and Jesse, because I think Michelle thinks she doesn't owe Jesse the communication or explanation, but you do a little bit. Now, do you know what's interesting? So at the reunion, Andy's like, oh, you just moved in with Aaron. How is that going? She's like, great. I could see like a wedding and kids in our future one day. Like literally weeks ago, her and Bug-Eyed Aaron broke up. So I'm dying to know what happened. We don't know what happened. I'm dying to know though, because they made the whole move and now they break up. Maybe he does something awful. And once they were like living together, she's like, I can't live like this for the rest of my life. Because she can pick and choose now. She's not really bind. Like, I feel like she tried to make it work with Jesse because they had a daughter. She doesn't have to make it work with Bug-Eyed Aaron. So it's very interesting. They move in and then they break up. And I wonder if Jesse finds that funny because I guess he still has the girlfriend. I don't know for 100% fact, but on the reunion, he still had the girlfriend. But he is representing himself in their divorce. So there's just like this funny clip that I have to play that I was just like, oh, yeah, caught.
I spoke to my attorney.
You don't have an attorney.
Wait, aren't you representing yourself?
Yeah.
So
you spoke to yourself?
No, I have a team of consultants that I work with.
Is that Jason?
I'm not on the team.
Jason's like, I'm not on the team. I would never represent that man. Could you imagine if Jason was like a divorce attorney? Would they have hired him? Probably not. It'd be like conflict of interest, and he probably wouldn't even want to get into their BS. But how funny is that when he's like, I contacted my attorney and Michelle's like, you don't have an attorney. Like, we just got done saying this. So she's saying that Jesse's just making everything so difficult for her. And she said this in a podcast before, that he is like dragging stuff out and it costs her money because she is actually paying someone to talk to Jesse. Whereas he could talk to her lawyer every day if he wants because it's free for him, but it's not free for her. So I feel bad. I just feel like both of these divorces are being extremely drawn out. I thought Michelle and Jesse made headway because at the Zen party, it seemed like they were getting along. And then on the reunion, it doesn't seem like they were getting along. But I'm kind of wondering, like, current day, what their relationship is now that Aaron's gone. Interesting. Like, she doesn't really have someone in her corner to kind of help her. Not that Aaron was like getting in on the fights with Jesse, but I don't know. Brittany and Michelle are just really going at Jesse and Jackson. I do like it. So then we get in to Jackson, Brittany, like the fallout of their marriage. And then they bring up the, quote unquote, wonderful friend of Jax's, which it's like, then it's really not your best friend, Julian, of Brittany hooking up with him. And if it's right or wrong. So I took a little video clip of this too. This one's going to be a little longer, but I feel like to get the full sense, we have to relive and hear Brittany say it.
That I hooked up with somebody that was around the friend group, but my confidence was at an all-time low. This man degraded me, put me down, body shamed me constantly. Okay? Julian gave me attention that I needed in that moment. He made me feel sexy. He made me feel beautiful. He gave me some confidence.
While he was dating 5 other girls
it doesn't matter. He was what I needed because you made me literally lose my sparkle. I lost a lot of my personality being with you. Mm-hmm. And everybody knows it.
I'm not arguing with you. Did you see me arguing with you?
You're going, lost your sparkle.
I just, enough with the sparkle word. It's like, come on.
Because that's how I feel like. That's how I talk about myself.
I know. I am very, very sorry.
I mean, I had your son, and then you body shamed me for stretch marks.
I didn't body shame you. I never said that. Yes, you did.
I had your child, your beautiful child.
Down there, all right?
No, we've seen the text message. We've seen it.
And Zach was there.
So Jack
literally called me a tree trunk because I had stretch marks.
No, I didn't.
Maybe apologize.
I am very sorry
Stop
about
denying.
all
Are you very sorry about your...
I'm sorry about all of this, to be honest. This is not how I wanted. This is the last thing I wanted for anybody to see.
Did you hear what he said? This is the last thing that I wanted anybody to see. Yeah, you're mad that Brittany has finally exposed all the truths of your relationship. You don't want us to see it. You just want us to think everything's fine. Obviously, it hasn't been fine for a while, which I do feel bad for Brittany for. Like, it's like, for the past couple of years, we were thinking everything was okay, and you were body shaming her all the way back when she was pregnant and or just giving birth. Jax, she gave birth to a child. What is your excuse for having a giant blockhead, block neck? No excuse. You didn't have a child. Do you love how he's telling Zach to zip it on the end of the couch? No, you're just so mad everyone's exposing you. Like, all these people have seen the text messages. Maybe you shouldn't put things in writing if you don't want people to know all these things. They're not making it up. Do you know what's even grosser? Later, I didn't take a video of this one, but later, we find out, along with the body shaming, which is just disgusting enough, he threw Brittany into a rose bush. And then she said it's on camera. What I think she meant, because everyone's like, oh my God, the producers got video of this for the Valley, and of course they didn't show it. I think she means it's like on the Ring camera. Show us the tapes though, Brittany. Do it. I mean, he really couldn't sue her for exposing that tape because it's like, it's really you. It's not like she's making it up. I feel like it's not defamation if it's true. And it's just their footage. I don't know. I guess she could get in trouble for releasing it without his consent, but whatever. I 100% believe it. Because she wouldn't be saying these things if they weren't true. And she certainly wouldn't be getting divorced from him if all these things weren't true. Because Brittany is a ride or die. I mean, she put up with the cheating. She put up with this like drug abuse too for a long time, which is crazy. So now obviously Andy gets into that a little bit. And Jax is like, I just like, have a problem and I'm now 100 and some days sober. It's like, yeah, but it took you going to an actual rehab for drugs and alcohol after you went to this hobo, like, stop by whenever I want rehab. And that was for mental health. That was a rehab for mental health, not drugs and alcohol. And I don't really know how much they treated him for that. And then Brittany's like, yeah, and good that did. You were in there for a week and then you were doing coke and drinking and stuff. And it's like, yeah, obviously that didn't do anything for you. And then she touched again on he was already diagnosed bipolar like years ago and never filled the prescription because I guess Brittany and his sister, and this is before they were on TV, made him go to like a mental health. I don't know if it was like a facility like this or just like maybe a doctor, but they diagnosed him bipolar and he didn't fill the prescription then. Why did you need to spend $30,000 to find out again that you're bipolar? My big question is, he definitely got fired from the show. He, got let go of the bar. She is exposing that he was verbally and physically abusive to her. Is he still going to be at BravoCon? Because she's at BravoCon. So that seems like a conflict of interest. And if you're not coming back next year, we really don't need you at BravoCon. And I couldn't even imagine how many people want to stand in line with that man and take a picture with him. I certainly don't. And we don't want him on a panel up on stage, like making Brittany all miserable. That's the other thing. He is getting so frustrated and mad at her when she's like, you made me lose my sparkle. Maybe he can think that the saying is cheesy, how she's describing it. But the fact that he's like annoyed with that, he's like, enough with the sparkle. You're like a dark rain cloud that has eliminated all her sparkle, sucked the life out of her. And Kristen's like, you treat her like shit. That's just what she's saying. Like, she's just trying to say it in a nicer way. Like, you made me lose my personality, her being, her happiness. It's so sad. I know Brittany's obviously so happy and grateful that she has her son, just like Lala is so happy and grateful she has her daughter. But I'm sure if they could go back in time, they would not pick those two men to procreate with because, and we'll add Michelle to the bunch with Jesse. I mean, it's just crazy that now she's going to have to deal with Jax. Like, he won't be on the show, but you got to share that kid with him. And then in the after show, I think I mentioned this on my last podcast, but he's like, no, we're going to do holidays together. We're going to do Mother's Day and Father's Day together. No, you are not. Why do you think you're going to ruin her Mother's Day? And she certainly doesn't want to see you on Father's Day. All you need to do is be with your kid on Father's Day or like Christmas. You don't need Brittany there. If Brittany could be with you on Christmas, she would still be married to you. What do you want to ruin her Christmas day? You've already ruined every other day of the calendar year. Why would she want to spend a holiday with you? It's just crazy. But I'm so glad that we have 3 parts to the reunion because I really feel like we need it. In the next one, I guess we're just still going to talk about Jax and Brittany. I mean, I think we could talk about Jax and Brittany for each one, but we know we're going to get into like Kristen and Janet's stuff. We're going to get into Danny's stuff. Maybe the Danny stuff will be next. Because sometimes I always feel like part 1 is good. Part 2 is like a little of like filler. And then part 3 will be like good. So I'm saving part 3 to watch with my friend. We'll watch it in person together. But I'm excited for them to just keep going with all of this. And then I know they'll talk about Zach feeling like Brittany doesn't have his back all the time, kind of sides with Janet more. I still can't get over all this Sheena and Brock stuff too. So before we recap Orange County and take our break, we'll just talk about that. So somebody did the Lord's work, I forget the account, and put all of like the pinpoints of her book. So not only does she have like a laundry list of people she slept with, she did say if she knew Brock cheated on her before they got married. So they did have summer moon already. But if she knew before they got married, she wouldn't have got married. Isn't that interesting? And I wonder how that green card would have worked out if they didn't get married. Probably wouldn't have. That would have been like her plan. Like, oh, I'm not going to marry you. You've cheated. Now you have to leave the country. I get to keep the baby. I mean, what a gross, gross man. What's wrong with all these men on Bravo? It's like they get on Bravo and they're like, I have to be a tool bag. Like, she had this amazing laundry list of like hot celebrity men. And Brock should be kissing the ground that Sheena walks on. Instead, he's fleeing the house while she's pregnant during COVID to like hook up with a rando. I need visual of the person too. Like, you're meeting this person at the gym. Ew, I look like scary at the gym. I am not talking to anyone. I have my headphones in. I'm sweating. I have no makeup on. I probably need to wash my hair. Who are you seeking out at the gym? Like, I know some people go to the gym, I guess, and like look all done up for reasons like this. I guess the person he cheated on Sheena with is one of those that's like done up like they're going to dinner, but they're actually at the gym to cheat. She had to know who he was too. Because it's like, hello, you're in LA. You've probably watched Vanderpump Rules just once, even if you're not a regular. And I feel like he'd be like bragging almost like, yeah, I'm with someone that's on Vanderpump Rules, but she's pregnant right now. So I have to like have sex with you instead. He said he forgot about it. You didn't forget about it. You forgot that like time's running out and you have to tell Sheena one day. That's the only thing you forgot. Like, you didn't forget you had an affair. And I thought it was like a one and done. He hooked up with this person like 5 times. So he wrote like an apology, a public apology, and him and Sheena posted it. Sheena wrote that apology. He did not. And we could do without the public apology because that's a no. Honestly, they came out with it because she wrote about it in her book. So people would buy and read her book. I think she wants sympathy because I think she sees like Brittany getting sympathy. Oh my God, you guys are going to laugh. I'm not going to leave the screaming, but my daughter just walked in because she woke up because I'm recording this during their bedtime. Scared me half to death. I know I was in the middle of rambling about Brock, but he needs to rot in hell, and we're going to take a break here. I have now put them back to bed, and we're going to recap The Real Housewives of Orange County. Need a last-minute gift? Look no further than Acred Creative. Discover personalized gifts, distinctive decor, and must-have business essentials. Elevate your space or amplify your brand with their unique creations. Go to acredcreative.com and use my code BRAVOT10 to receive 10% off your order. That's ACRED creative.com and use my code BRAVOT10. And we're back to recap The Real Housewives of Orange County. So Katie finds that she wasted a good dress, a good outfit at this party. She's going to leave. I mean, how many people are storming off of this show already on this season? She said she wants to leave because Shannon doesn't care about her apology. While her and Matt, her husband, are on their way out and they're outside now, Tamra is bringing Joe. Tamra sees Katie leaving and she's like, what's wrong? Why are you leaving? And her husband said, you started it, Tamra. It's funny you're asking. In such a quiet, non-confrontational voice, but Matt didn't even have to raise his voice to like be just speaking the truth. I mean, he was so funny. He's like, yeah, like you don't know. You started it all. Tamara's like, no, I didn't. And I'm thinking like, if Tamara's about to go toes with Matt, she needs to leave. I mean, I can't even believe that like she was kind of trying to argue with Matt. And that's what I mean. Tamara never thinks she's done anything wrong. But I am going to say, Katie has definitely done a lot wrong already. So Tamara gets the point this time. Matt probably doesn't even know the half of what Katie's done. He probably also doesn't understand that she's like talking to all these people on the internet and like doing all this stuff. So he's probably like, oh, I got your back. Gretchen was like, of course, Tamara brought Joe. But Jen asks Heather why they should be giving Tamara grace with like all the Teddy stuff when they don't get it. And Jen has a point. Jen is very level-headed. Tamara wants to be all mean and then cry that she's on the spectrum and that's why she's an asshole. And it's like, I don't think so. You're not fooling any of us. Now, all of a sudden, her best friend and podcast host, Teddy, has brain cancer and tumors in her brain. And now she wants everyone to run to her side to give her sympathy and be there for her. Well, Jen's like, we are human beings, so we will give her that, but I don't think it's fair. And I understand. And all these people would never not give Tamara thoughts, prayers, grace right now. But it is kind of like, yeah, remember when I was going through that bad time like Shannon? I don't think Shannon wanted to drunk drive and hit like a wall, Tamara. I don't think she wanted to do that. And you certainly didn't help matters last season by every episode calling her a drunk or an alcoholic and becoming BFF4L with Alexis Jesus Jugs Bellino, who was scooping up Shannon's seconds with Johnny J. So remember all that, Tamara? Yeah, that's why we really don't care to sympathize with anything you're going through at all. I'll give Teddy sympathy and her family and feel bad for them. I don't really feel bad for you. Sorry. Gretchen and Slade do say hi to Joe, though. And that was like quick. We could have definitely spent a couple minutes like chit-chatting with them. I don't know why we didn't. Jen told Tamara she wants to meet with her. And Tamara said, okay. Then we get Jen and Ryan going to get veneers on the bottom of their mouth. So unless you're like a crackhead and all your teeth have disintegrated into nothing, or they're like real crooked and real bad and awful, I don't really know why all these people get veneers. Because it's like, I know that your teeth are fake. They're all the same size. They're all extremely white. The reason like more I would want to have it is because they're all extremely white. Not really for like, oh, I want all of my teeth to be the same exact size. Like, I would opt to get Invisalign or like braces for a little bit before I would get all veneers. And my thing is like, it looked fine when Jen just had them on the top. But now that you have them on the bottom, it's like, that's like too much in your mouth. Like Ronnie from Jersey Shore has them and it's like they can barely all fit in his mouth. And Snooki has them and I think Jenny does, but just on the top. So that's what I mean. I'm all down for like if you had bad teeth, like you want better ones, but like maybe just get the top. Like no one can even see your bottom teeth, really. But Jen said the OC checklist is boobs, tummy tuck, spray tan, handbag, G-Wagon, fake teeth. So now she said she has everything except the handbag. That was weird. I was like, what do you mean you don't own an expensive handbag? And we know she doesn't have a G-Wagon. So she got everything else. So she's just kind of telling Ryan how Tamara is really ripping on her. So remember last season when Tamra was like, oh yeah, her tummy tuck looks real good. Like kind of diminishing that Jen's in shape. And remember when she showed that picture the other week to Heather? Next episode, it's going to get exposed that she showed that. And that's mean girl behavior. I don't really know why Tamra is being so mean to Jen. I think there's something weird. Like Jen has alluded that Tamra used to text Jen like, oh, hot gym guy's here, meaning Ryan. And I think Tamra had like a crush on Ryan. And now she's kind of like jealous that Jen has him. Not saying she wants to leave Eddie, but like, I don't know. It's just kind of like weird that Tamra does have this intense vendetta because like, if he is doing wrong stuff and the FBI is going to come to his house, who cares? It's not your house. Like, and you really don't even like Jen that much as a friend, I feel like. So you're not concerned about her safety with the FBI and all that. There's just more. So that's why I think it's funny. Tamra says, oh, Jen's so jealous of me. It's like, I think you're really jealous of Jen, to be honest, because her always commenting on her stuff and like her looks, and they were showing it so fast, but that's what it was, like Tamra like ripping on Jen. And it's just like, she told Ryan, well, we're going to have a talk and we're going to like try and hash it out. And we know why all these people do it. A, they're on TV, so they have to meet. The producers are probably like, we want you guys to have lunch because we want to film it. But then B, they kind of do want to at least have a surface level friendship, all these people, because if you really, really have no friends, you're not going to stay on the show. And Jen is probably always a little concerned of her safety on the show because she's new. Like we just got her last year. So she would be the first on the chopping block versus Tamra. But then we see Gina and Travis at a listing. Everyone is literally a real estate agent in California. I don't know how there's room for all of these people to be listing agents. It's just crazy. And that just must be how many houses are out there. I mean, I know there's a lot of houses out there, but it's just like everyone is in real estate, especially in LA, because we got, you know, the Oppenheim group, we got the agency, we got like, I don't know, all these other people. It's just like everyone's freaking selling houses. And we have the Oppenheim group in the OC. Would love to see a little crossover of them on there. And I feel like it's coming back, selling Sunset and selling the OC. I love those. That's Adam DeVello. So that's the Hills and Laguna Beach. So sometimes I always get like in the back of my brain, is this really fake and scripted like the Hills? Brie, the one that has the son with Nick Cannon, like the 12th baby, she said it is not. And all of these bitches are really that crazy. And I'm like, yeah, but is the craziness for the TV is my question and point. Like, I'm not doubting everyone's crazy on these shows. I just want to know if selling the OC and selling Sunset is scripted like The Hills was. But anyway, speaking of real estate, Heather brings the Joshes to her house. So this is Josh Flagg, Josh Altman from $1 Million Listing, which I think that show is going to be no more because Josh Altman and his wife announced in the spring that they were leaving the show. So I don't really know how that show will tread on, but I'm sad because I did like to watch that. I love Josh Flagg. He's so funny. He gives 0 Fs because he's got like a bunch of his grandmother's money. He still rolls around in her Rolls Royce. Love him. But I'm like really lost with Heather and Terry with this house. And this is just how much money they have that like they can lose money on selling this house. And it doesn't even matter. So they bought this house in Beverly Hills and it was like a total restoration, renovation, whatever. It seems they have like renovated majority of it. I mean, we did not see every room in the house, but I'm really confused. She's like, we just want to dump it and get rid of it. And I'm like, why don't you move into it? What? Like it's done. It looks like they waste so much time buying and renovating these houses, living in another house that they never even get to raise their family in their house. Like their house that they had before that took 3 years to build, that I definitely thought they were going to die, like Endgame, that's their house forever. They had their names etched in glass in the foyer, and that's like, you can't resell that. They sold it because somebody gave them a crazy amount, which I guess I get it. Like somebody gave you a super crazy amount, but like honestly, they probably spent that amount buying the land, building the house. You know, all the fixtures they picked out were crazy expensive, all the furniture. So it's just like all in all in, you probably almost spent that what you sold it for. I am just so lost. Like they're hoarded in this penthouse, and this house looks like it's done or about to move in, ready, and they want to sell it? Like what? Why? So they can buy another house that needs renovating for years, and then they'll get tired of that and sell that and like still live in a penthouse? It's just mind-blowing to me. And the view that they had, so they go in the backyard and look at it. Their house is sandwiched between Drake and somebody else that was crazy. That's what I mean. Like, the land was a lot of room for out there too, and the view was spectacular and crazy. So it's like, where are you going? I don't understand. She said that she wouldn't even care if they broke even on selling the house. I mean, that's crazy. That is so crazy to me. Just move in the house. Tamra and Sydney are talking about her going to college. So Sydney makes like beats. She's going to do music college, whatever. She is piercing Tamra's ear. I am so confused. I don't know why Tamra isn't just going to a store to do this. I also don't know why, like, she's trusting her daughter to line it up even. Does Sydney pierce her, like, people's ears on the off time, on the off camera? Instead of going to college, maybe she could open up like a piercing studio. I don't understand why we are getting that. It's like when you go to Claire's with the gun. Like, what are we doing here, people? But she said that they kind of have like a codependency going on, and she's going to be like really upset when she leaves, but she knows that Sydney just needs to go and do this and it'll be good for her. It is just still crazy to me that Tamra doesn't see and speak to the other daughter she had with Simon. So I think she still speaks to the son because he did used to be on the show. Maybe he just has no interest to be on the show, and he's probably not living at home right now. So like he's just not on the show. But I think she still talks to him. Very interesting that she just has no relationship with the other one. I just saw that she does not talk to Simon at all anymore. And I guess she really doesn't have to because everyone's like old enough. But I know when he was sick, she was like feeling bad and talking to him. And I don't know. Tamra, like they're showing clips of her in therapy, and it's really hard for me to understand the full story with her and the daughter that don't talk, because the daughter came out and said Tamra was an awful mom. And I don't think she'd be saying all that made up. Like, she's like, she would leave me for long periods of time, not even care if like there was food in the house. I guess this is when Tamra was like filming the show. She's like, she would constantly talk bad about my dad and blah, 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 which I totally can see Tamra doing that. And she's like, I don't want a relationship with her. It's nothing to do with my dad. It's kind of like Tamra sounds like she dug her own grave with that daughter. So it's like, don't act like it's Simon's fault. I don't know. Tamra, I think it's like we're about the end of our rope with her, because it's just like she does the same song and dance every year. She comes at the beginning of the season wanting sympathy. She's like, I'm in therapy. So Heather's going around telling people, we need to be sympathetic. Tamra is working on herself. It's like, that's like Jack saying he's working on himself. It's not working. You've been trying to work on yourself for years. What happened when Tamra got baptized on the show years ago? That didn't cure anything, obviously, because now she's in therapy. I thought she was supposed to be born again Christian, and like that was supposed to be helping, but that didn't help. But Shannon, Emily, and Gina go to like this like hanging upside down yoga thing. Like, remember when Pink did that on her concert tour? I don't really know how to describe that, but it's when you like twirl around and hang upside down on those like soft little sheets. I don't really know what that's called. Like air yoga. And Heather, Gina, and Katie meet and they're having like a little tea, little lunch outside. So Heather's like, so Tamra told us that Matt yelled at her. And the one thing I can get on board with Katie, she said in her confessional, Tamra tells part of a truth and then stretches it. So it's like, yeah, Matt did have some word exchanges with Tamra, but it was very mellow. It was not yelling. So it's funny that Tamra went back inside and said to everyone, oh, Matt yelled at me. I didn't hear him yelling. He talked very monotone. It was actually impressive, the things he was saying, how monotone he was. And he wasn't yelling or being snippy. Then we flash back to the weird yoga thing. And, oh no, wait, I'm sorry. It was Gretchen, Shannon, and Emily, not Gina. I'm sorry. Gina's at lunch with Heather and Katie. But Gretchen said she has no desire to be friends with Tamra. And I feel like Shannon feels like that too. But Shannon had such a stressful year that she doesn't really want to fight with Tamra either. But I think deep down she knows she can't be friends with Tamra because everything she said to her last season, even if Tamra would apologize, and she kind of did at the reunion, it's just like apologizing so they can film the show together. It's not out of kindness and wanting to be friends. And Eddie is always so mean about Shannon. He's like, she's not a friend to you and blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, Eddie. Is Tamra a friend to people when she's mean to them? I know you got to have your spouses back, but when they are wrong, they're wrong. And you got to tell them they're wrong. And that's why we're there, to make our spouses better people too. But then we pan back to the lunch. Heather said to Katie that Tamra also told them that Katie is telling Kiki Monique stories about them. And Katie's like, no, I did meet with her, but like I wasn't telling stories about you guys or telling her to leak stories about you. I think the jig is up with Katie. I do think she is talking to anybody that will talk to her. I DM'd her last year and said, come on my podcast. And she was like, okay. I mean, she never did because she probably realized she shouldn't. But she talked to me in the DMs too. And they're still talking about the Bravo babe. Shame on Andy for not like giving her a shout out, mentioning her at all on Watch What Happens Live because Katie was the guest. I mean, Kiki Monique is on Sheena's podcast all the time and they talk about celebrity gossip. So you're just meeting her and having lunch with her and not telling her anything about these people. I don't believe it. You really don't have loyalty to these people because I still don't understand how she's quote unquote friends with Gina or was brought in with Gina. That's a little made up. So Katie really isn't friends with these people. So she really doesn't mind throwing them under the bus and or talking about them so she can have a minute of fame, in my opinion. But Jen meets Tamra and it starts out hot. So they're at a Mexican restaurant. They start to get into it. There is a lady like nearby table with her husband hiding behind her margarita watching them. This is the dream of my life, to be sitting, having a margarita and seeing housewives fight in front of me. That's the dream drink and the dream sitting scenario. She's having the chips and salsa. It's like a full-blown show. You don't even need to go to dinner and a show. This is the show at dinner. So Tamra is telling Jen that she just like Jen wants to be Tamra so bad. And then they start to talk about these hair extensions. So this is really weird and confusing about the hair extensions. Tamra is alluding to Jen getting like her crusty leftover hair extensions and putting them in her hair because she wants to be her so bad. This is like Silence of the Lambs, like skinning the people alive and wearing their skin. I'm confused. When I had my hair extensions in and the year passed by, we threw them out. We didn't put them on somebody else's head. So then Jen says, you are twisting this story, Tamra. I was in the salon 2 days after you had clip-ins in that you only wore for the night. And we were playing around with them and we were friends then. So I was texting you and saying, haha, I have your hair on. Probably like Jen was interested in getting extensions. And they're like, oh, well, we have some of these that like Tamara only put in her head for like a day. Let's see if it like matches your hair color and you like the extensions. Like my hairdresser did that too, but it was with like, you know, like a sample. Like, you know, when you go to the nail salon and they have all the colors on the like wheel, it was kind of like that. So we like put it up so I could see, touch, feel it, put it on my hair a little bit. I don't know. Maybe Katie has a point. Like Tamara says the story and there's a little truth to it, but then she like embellishes. So I think Jen really did put Tamara's hair extensions in, but it was like to test them out. Like she didn't get year-old like extensions that were for the trash, like sewn in because she's like fan obsessed with Tamara. Jen said she's sick, like how therapy's going. Like Tamara is sick. And then she's like, how's therapy going? And it's just not ending well. And Jen's like, you know, I had to explain to my kids that the FBI wasn't coming to our house and the pain and hurt you caused us. And I mean, get it, Jen. She had points. And then Tamara's like, oh, who cares? Like Tamara never wants to care about somebody else or own up to mean stuff she has said and done. She's like, your boyfriend called my husband like a little bitch or something like that. That's why Eddie went in on him and blah, blah, blah. And I remember Ryan and Eddie did have spats. It's just like, Tamara, you can't get along with anybody. Jen seems pretty mellow, can get along with pretty much anyone on the cast, except Tamara. I mean, it's just okay for Tamara to be rude and not Jen. Tamara gets up, storms off. We got another storm off. I mean, everyone's storming off the whole season. How are any of these people going to get their paycheck? And then Jen goes over to this table and there's like a cute service dog and she's petting him. And then he starts nibbling on her hair extensions and she's like, oh, it's okay. And this isn't Tamara's hair. Nibble away. I'm like, oh my God, these people are all crazy. But shout out to the lady nearby at that table with her husband having the margarita and watching the free show. She was probably living her best life. Do you know what I've noticed on Orange County thus far? Everywhere they have been going, people are like excited that they're spotting them. So I don't think these are like places they would normally go or like the people they would normally be around, because people look like they're fans and they're just so excited to be spotting them on TV. And they're like, oh my God, I watched this show and now I'm at the same restaurant as the housewife and I'm so excited to be watching the drama live and in person. I mean, I would be too. But it's because I don't live there also. Like I never run into these people. I live all the way in Delaware. So like that's why I would be so excited. I could imagine that if you would like frequent the Quiet Woman and saw them all the time, you'd be like, all right, these bitches again. But obviously these people don't frequent them and they're very ecstatic. And cheers to them because I'm jealous. But I feel like we recapped a lot, got it all in. We even talked about Brock, even though I was interrupted, scared half to death by my daughter waking up at night. I told you guys I did not leave the scream in there. I should like put the clip on Instagram of the scream, like mom life when you're getting interrupted in the middle of a podcast because you have to do it at 10 o'clock at night while they're asleep. Unbeknownst to me, they're not asleep. They're creeping up on me from behind. I was like full blown talking about Brock. And then I hear like, Mom, and I'm like, like screaming. So I didn't want to leave the scream in there because I feel like the scream is too loud. But for theatrical purposes and a funny reel or meme, I will do the scream that I was interrupted in. But as always, you can find me on Instagram at Bravo T with a stay-at-home mom. TikTok, I'm back, baby. Getting those followers up there since they never recovered that old account for me. So much for that. And I can't wait to have a guest again on my podcast. I want to have my friend that I will be watching the last part of the Valley reunion. I want to have her, but I want to reach out to somebody else. I'm trying to get the Bravo Babe back on because we did a couple podcasts together last year. We tried to do like a monthly check-in. It just didn't work to do it every month because, mom life and our schedules. But I want to have her back on to recap Orange County so she can come and talk about how awful Katie Janela is too. I don't know. Maybe I'll get some new people that I haven't on the pod yet to recap Orange County. Maybe I'll have the Bravo mom come back on. I had her on last year because she lives in Orange County. And catch me on other people's podcasts when I'm on. I was just on Vanderpump Rob's. I will repost that again. And I was on Bravo and Blaze a little while ago. I'll repost that too, because just in case you guys miss it and don't see the ones when I go on other people's podcasts too, because that's always fun to hear me kind of get the questions too. But I hope everyone has a good weekend and stay safe, drinking those margaritas, watching housewives potentially fight.